You know, for 10 years, I've said that Donald Trump is a failure. Yesterday was proof of that. Two major things happened yesterday. Number one, Supreme Court ruled against him. Number two, the economic factors report came in yesterday, and both of them are devastating for Donald Trump. Both of them illustrate just how stupid this guy is and how people who follow him follow in blind loyalty. Good morning and welcome to Coffee with Kevin. Today I want to talk about something right away. No rumors, no vibes, just primary source level facts and a clear-eyed look at how different media outlets are framing the same event. Here is the core development. The U.S. Supreme Court issued a 6-3 ruling that President Trump did not have legal authority under the International Emergency Economic Powers Act, IEEPA, to impose sweeping global tariffs the way he did. In other words, the court said that the statute does not grant a blank check for broad tariff taxes, and it reinforced that tariff power ultimately runs through Congress. First, it is a direct limit on presidential powers under the specific emergency law that was used. Second, the practical consequences are enormous. There is uncertainty about what happens to the money already collected through those tariffs, including whether refunds are owed, how they would work, and how long that process would take. The ruling did not end the tariff fight. It changed the legal tactic and track. However, Reuters reports that Trump moved quickly to impose a new 10% tariff using a different statutory authority. However, that authority is going to expire in 150 days and it's going to revert back to the Congress, which is going to ultimately decide whether to move forward with it or not. That's where the power of the purse belongs, is in Congress, not in the president's hands. That is important context because it tells you the Supreme Court decision is not just simply talking about tariffs. It is about which branch of government has the authority to impose them, under which law, and with what limits. Now let's talk about how this is being framed. Mainstream news coverage, like Reuters and the Washington Post, frames the decision as a major legal defeat for Trump's approach and a separation of powers ruling that limits executive authority under IEEPA. International outlets are broadly aligned on that same framing. Al Jazeera calls it a major blow to Trump and emphasizes the court rejecting the emergency law basis. Australia's ABC focuses on the global economic impact and treats the ruling as a serious takedown on the tariff program with spillover effects for trade partners. England's BBC is also showing this as a serious setback for Donald Trump as well. So at a macro level, the national and international framing converges on a simple conclusion. The court put a stop sign in front of one specific path of executive action. The immediate question is not whether tariffs can ever be used again. The question is whether a president can impose sweeping tariffs unilaterally under a statute designed for national emergencies, and the court said no. Now here's the part I want you to think about before you pick up which outlet you trust. Fox News coverage in the pieces published today repeatedly shifts attention towards workarounds and counterweights. One headline centers on 4 other laws that could bring tariffs back. Another highlights Kavanaugh's dissent, talks illogical, emphasizes alternate pathways. Others lean into politics, which Republicans are privately reacting to. That is not necessarily lying. That is framing. It is choosing which facts to place in the foreground so the audience feels something specific. And if your media diet is one channel, one framing, one emotional angle every day, you're not being informed, you're being trained. You're being manipulated. If you want to defend the Constitution, then act like it. Read the ruling summary. Compare how Reuters, ABC, BBC, and Australia's ABC describe the same situation and decision. If you will not do that, if you will not read primary source reporting and you only defend the spin you were handed, then don't tell me you are standing on principle. You are standing on programming. You're being programmed by the news media that you choose to watch. If you want to continue this conversation in more depth, join us every Tuesday evening at 7 p.m. on Coffee with Democrats. As we go down the track of a new day, let's keep this conversation rolling.